And yes, we are back at it again. Another Diablo. I tried to say Dev 4. Another Diablo 4 video. Named, they just removed a key feature. Fans are not happy, and new updates. So let's get right into this one. Don't want to get too behind on these because these are my bread and butter because I'm only really excited for Diablo 4. And in the meantime, I've been just working on my League of Legends basics. How fun is that? Not really, but it's something. So let's get right into it.
Yes, Blizzard just confirmed a critical feature from the Diablo 4 beta will not be making it into the full version of the game, and it was a pretty important part of the dungeon farming experience for many of you.
Who farmed dungeons? I didn't farm dungeons. I don't know. I didn't farm dungeons, so I don't
Also,
know.
a new tease from the development team has the community talking about a brand new class coming to the game. We'll
Damn.
talk about it, and an exploit will not be making it into the full version. This is actually great news for PvP
I would hope
multiplayer.
so. I would
Plus,
hope so. I would
all
hope
new
so.
information about skill reset costs, new druid details, and much
Ooh,
more. So
ooh.
yeah, you're probably wondering, what in the world is this big feature that was very present in the Diablo 4 beta that is now no longer going to be in the game? So comes from the recent blog post, and it was mentioned briefly and kind of hidden away at the end of this blog post. A lot of people noticed it, and here we have a response from the community manager of Diablo 4. Check it out right here. It says, been seeing quite a bit of discussion on the reset dungeon button being disabled line. We added in an extra developer note on the blog to help
Huh?
clarify the change. So yes, no longer will there be an option when you actually clear a dungeon open up the menu and just reset the dungeon completely and run it again. It goes on to say this right here. While Diablo 4's Sanctuary is home to over 100 dungeons, the open beta only had the subset offered in Act 1's Fractured Peaks for players to explore, and a level cap that isn't a full representation of the experience at launch. There are many reasons to complete a variety of dungeons, including collecting powerful fixes in the Codex of Power, and players will still be able to repeat dungeons by partying up with others and having them start the dungeon. We also wanted to make sure that resetting the dungeon wasn't a way for hardcore players to avoid death when experiencing a challenge in a dungeon. Still, we know it can be a lot of fun to repeat a specific dungeon, and the team is looking at a more permanent solution to this, like having some reasonable cap on how many times the same dungeon can be completed in a row to better support that style of play. In fact, in the full game, players will acquire sigils that will unlock nightmare dungeons, which are specifically designed to be completed repeatedly and are optimized to be a highly rewarding and replayable experience. We'll have more to share on this in the future. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think
Wait, so the feature was reset dungeon button?
of this one. It definitely stirred up a lot of controversy. In fact, here is this reply right here about the matter. That kind of sucks for solo players, though. I feel like if people want to spam one specific optimal dungeon, then that should be allowed, or at least have a cap per hour like World of Warcraft. Also, a joined random dungeon shrine with extra rewards in the town could also be a cool way to avoid this. And Adam Fletcher did reply saying,
I don't understand, what are you upset about? If I feel like if people want to spam one specific optimal dungeon, can't you just exit the dungeon and then walk back inside? Am I not understanding that? I don't understand. Can't you literally just clear the dungeon? All right, you're done, and then it loads you back in, or are they mad about the button being gone specifically? I don't under. If they're mad about, I don't know. If they're just upset the button is upset, I mean the button is not there anymore. This is again people grasping at straws. I I don't know how to feel about this.
as noted, the team is still exploring
I personally I don't care. I don't know why someone would let this upset them, but I personally don't care.
options, and Neil chimed in saying, yeah, this is something I hope you all are able to solve ASAP. I spent 88 hours playing the beta, and farming dungeons is one of the
This person is cap. You spent 88 hours playing playing the beta, and farming dungeons is one of the things I enjoyed the most. Bro, you are just running the dungeon over and over again. You can still do that. I don't understand.
Things I enjoyed the most.
People just type whatever on Twitter. This person is probably lying. Like I want to see 88 hours. I want to see that. I want to see that. You spent exactly 88 hours playing, bro. Shut up.
So, I think they're gonna have to fight their way to a middle ground, so to speak, and
I just don't like people like, but I spent this much time, so like, bro, no one cares how much time you spent, okay? Just say what you have to say and complain and go on. Cause people, that's just like, I hate when people just do that. They do it on Twitter, and it's so prevalent on Reddit. It's like, as a repairman who has 10 years of this under his belt and I've been doing this for at least 1,500 hours. Bro, shut up. You could be a professional butterfly painter. Just say what you have to say. All opinions should be weighed the same.
formulate some sort of plan
In an
to
online
appease
like
to
space, I
everyone.
don't know.
Honestly, I think it just comes down to
Just say what you gotta say,
providing
bro.
players the freedom to play the way they want to. If you want to be able to repeat dungeons and do that sort of gameplay, you should be able to. I know it's a huge part of the beta experience. However, I do kind of get where the team is coming from here. They built this huge, massive open world, and they don't want you to be in one dungeon. They want you to explore all of the world, all of the dungeons. So, with that being said, they're going to have major incentive to do that. Like, every dungeon needs to provide you with a reason to be there, because players will find the best dungeon to farm over and over again. It's just the way
I agree.
it's going to work. So, let me know if you require to have the reset dungeon button.
Oh, so it is the button. Dude. Again, if the smallest things that don't impede on the game literally functioning and being fun, from interaction to interaction, and the small things just upset you, and you just feel the need to complain about it, you are pathetic. Just go outside, touch some grass,
in the
bro.
game. Right
Drink some
now, I'm
water
a
or
little
something.
worried about the approach they're taking.
Ridiculous.
Because once again, they're trying to really make it a non-solo experience, an experience where you have to hop into co-op. My personal belief is that you should be able to experience this game in any way, shape, or form, solo or co-op, and be able to
How does the removal of a button indicate that in any way? You're solo, dude.
have the freedom of replaying the dungeons,
Whatever.
like those that will be able to do that and pull that off in co-op. That's just my personal opinion. All right, so let's get into this one right here. We have a question about the tab overlay map. So Christopher says this: will there be a tab overlay map eventually added to the game? I really miss being able to look at my map while moving in Diablo 4. And the response was from Rod Ferguson, who says no plans at the moment. He didn't even say the usual reply, not at launch, which gives us some hope. But yeah, it seems like right now, currently, they just have no plans at all to provide that overlay map without an explanation. And I know this is a critical part of ARPGs. So if you come from Path of Exile, this might be like,
Yeah.
where's the overlay map? I'm so used to having this, or even like previous Diablo experiences. So I think it's something that, again, they should be providing as an option to players. Now we have this one right here. It says, I didn't see anything in there about letting barbarians use shields. And Rod Ferguson says this: there's a reason for that, smiley face. So there are some replies here that say, this seems like it's some sort of tease to perhaps the paladin coming to the game eventually. We know that the paladin loves to use a combo of shield and then a spear, and even like a sword. That could be potentially what they do with that class as well. So I'm thinking that this is kind of a tease as to getting a new class in the game post-launch, and it would be, of course, the paladin or some sort of holy knight that would really use a shield. They're going to reserve that sort of feature for perhaps a whole new class. That's what
Yeah, I didn't really think about that because they definitely have maces, so you would think there has to be some class with a shield in mind. Someone wants to use shield bash and all that good
I'm
stuff.
thinking that sort
I
of
didn't think about
tease
that.
is going for right there. Now, Joe Shelley of Blizzard goes on to say this as well. He says, this didn't make the patch notes, but we also adjusted many skills to make their maximum distances consistent between aspect ratios like teleport. We'll talk more about this in the upcoming live streams. If you don't know exactly what this means, they've basically updated it so you can't teleport clear across the screen if you are on an ultra wide monitor. This was an exploit, and I was like, wow, they got to fix this big time, because this would be a major issue for PvP, of course. And it looks like they're going to have that as like a non-issue.
Can you imagine if someone bought a whole monitor just to exploit in PvP? It's funny because people would do it.
In the full version of the game.
So fast.
So you don't have to really worry about someone with a huge ultra-wide monitor zipping and zapping throughout the battlefield, clear across the battlefield, and really taking advantage of that sort of thing. All right, so let's get into a brand new interview, which goes into all new details about what's happening to respec costs and that sort of thing. So let's dive into it right now. Here we go. It goes on to say this: are there any plans to adjust skill reset costs? And we have a response from Joseph Papora of Blizzard, who says, we got a lot of feedback. We'll continue to look into it. We still think the current cost level is reasonable. Since it is a game that will be a live service, adjustments may be possible after close observation of skill initialization. I will make the gold I use feel meaningful. This is translated, by the way. They're basically saying that they still want gold to feel meaningful, of course, with this system. Kind of makes sense, but again, a lot of you just want it to be free. Like, come on now. Also, it says, at the lower level stage, the skill initialization costs will be kept at such a low level that you can hardly feel it. However,
I think that's what's most important. I feel like as long as you can just keep respecting till you finally find what is your thing, and you're willing to really run with that, and you have at that point, you know, really good feel for your tree. And as long as you can like get a good feel for your tree and you haven't broken your bank, I think that's what is really most important. Because the game is going to be out for ever until it's, you know, no longer. So it's not like you're just going to make a barbarian mess with it, don't learn the skills. Like, obviously, got a trial and error at some point. But further down the line, I mess with these skills so much, I really don't need to respec and keep resetting. I kind of understand more about it, and you know, but that didn't come at like a detriment of cost. Like, unlike Path of Exile, you need specific resources to reset, and the resources cost too damn much.
You won't suddenly
need the Orbs of Regret.
Be asked for a lot of gold even at the end of the game. If I had used my resources in the right place, I wouldn't feel the cost of returning them too high. So they're claiming right now that it's no big deal. Even at the end game, you will be able to respec, but he didn't go on to say that you would be able to respec or redo your entire character at the end of the game just freely without worry about gold. I think when it comes to respecing your entire character in the very end game with the Paragon board, and you're deep into the Paragon board, that's when you most likely would, of course, be running into issues. I do believe. We'll see if that pans out to be the case, but that's what I'm thinking based on what's going on here with like comments and stuff. All right, so it says the druids you met in the open beta only transform when you use skills, which is different from the druids in Diablo 2 who maintain their transformations. In the future, will there be a passive or skill that is always maintained in the in-game content?
There already kind of is. You just don't get access to it. There was a few that, you know, while in stance you get this, and while in other stance you get this. The thing is, you just naturally turn back to your human form, because there's also other passives where when you turn back to your, when you like transform enough, you get bonuses. So I'm sure there 100% would be something, you know, for maintaining this stance, you'll get this, and then they'll just kind of scale it up from there.
Great question, and a surprising answer. We have this one right here. There are some intentional parts. What I wanted to add while making the current version of the Druid was to be able to flexibly go through bears and wolves. Among the items that can be used later, there are unique armor items that allow you to permanently remain in werewolf form.
Mhm.
Our intention was to transform flexibly, but there are times when it's fun to deviate from the rules. So yeah, if you want to go full-blown werewolf as a druid in the in-game, looks like that is definitely going to be a possibility. All right, next up it says, as the character's power increases, so-called one-time kills seem to be possible. Will PvP items and PvE items be separated in the future, or is there room for additional systems such as options and skills for PvP? And the response is this. I'm thinking about the part where the power of a certain character or skill is excessively increased and sends the opponent in one shot, and I'm trying to prevent it as much as possible. There are currently no plans for specific items or attributes for PvP. Overall, the PvP content itself may not be perfectly balanced. It's because it feels like an open world brawl. Diablo 4's PvP content itself is for slaughter rather than honor.
I like this outlook on it because if you put too much time and resources for trying to balancing something that can't be balanced, Diablo is a PvE game, right? The skills, I'm sure, for the most part, they have functionality of the game, the foundation, all in set, but you know, for PvE purposes, PvP purposes obviously are there. Like there's some skills that obviously you can just tell that you would want specifically for PvP, but for the most part, I think it's important to just kind of just get it out of there. This is not going to be balanced. Don't expect it to be balanced. Therefore, all your complaining, while justified, probably we won't lose sleep over that.
So yeah, don't
I think that's
expect
good.
the PvP experience, I guess, to be like 100% balanced, which is kind of worrisome, especially if you're going.
You were afraid about a world boss being popped in like how many seconds? A few seconds, bro. Imagine that's you. All right, just come on, bro. Just remember, several rogues apparently, right? Were popping world bosses like this, sorks were clearing like this. Guess who's next? Okay, just throwing it
Love
out there. Guess who's next?
PvP, in the future.
So don't be. I'm gonna play druid and I'm gonna be good at PvP. Like just you know, be realistic now.
But it just seems like it's going to be this crazy experience about who can actually create the craziest build and really show that off in like this PvP brawl. So yeah, there you have it. Let me know if you guys are worried about that or not. Also,
Nope.
because during the development process that was revealed last year, it was announced that a hard reset would be carried out every season with the addition of the prestige system. The amount of content that needs to be attacked to enjoy the end content to a higher level has become vast. Are all related elements such as prestige and the codex of power obtained from dungeons included in the reset criteria, or is there any exception to this? I guess, you know, I'm trying to translate here for you as well. It's a little bit worded weirdly. Now, we have this right here. As we create sanctuaries, we aim to provide entertainment. Hard resets are planned for each season, but stat points obtained from the Altar Lilith will not be included in the reset targets.
That is very important. As long as you keep the stat, I think that's what's important because I from what I've seen, you know, people who plan to no life this game don't want to do the same. They don't want to like have to min max and collect the nuanced things, like the fun exploring casual things about the game. Like people are gonna explore and look for these altars, and they're gonna feel an immense joy once they get them, once they get half of them, once they get all of them. For content creators and streamers, it's more of a chore, and the more chore, no one wants to do chores. You get what I'm saying? You understand that, right? No one wants to do chores. So the less of a chore that it is, or that it will be, it's a good thing. And for you know, like I said, for new players who enjoy finding and exploring, this is a W for them.
Potion or skill points will be reset, but bonuses obtained from the altar, will be permanently subordinated to all my characters.
It's really good.
Various tools will be prepared to make the reputation system feel as repetitive as possible. Again, this is translated. It's supposed to say not repetitive as possible. The wordage though
Repetitive
is
as possible.
incorrect. I get what they're saying. So yeah, Altar Lilith will not be reset, I guess. So I suppose that's good news. It'll be very much account wide, and it's one less thing you'll have to worry about redundantly doing as you go through seasons. So that's great news, at least in my opinion, to really prevent that feel of like, oh my god, this is such a grind, I can't play this game anymore. So they're trying their best to avoid that sort of fatigue with this game. But yes, it's that time again. It's time to get into your top comments. Remember to leave a comment down below. It could end up right here on the screen in a future video. So my most recent video was this one right here. Diablo 4 just got new gameplay updates. This is insane. All right.
This is insane.
Let's get into this. I also had a question for you all, and it was right here. It says, what's everyone playing this weekend since there's no Diablo 4 beta?
We're playing the game of real life, man. The game of real life. Jim. Trying to be social, trying to get all these nuances out the way, because for when this game drops, I want to partake in the. Guess what we doing on the weekend? D4 with the boys. Hey, what you doing on Saturday? D4 with the boys. Bro, what you be doing on your days off? D4 with the boys.
Been rough, guys. And King Jackson says this: I've been killing time with No Man's Sky like having a time portal. Dude, I've been meaning to get into that one so much. It's just there's so many games, and a lot of them do require a lot of effort and time to get into. So that's a monster size of a game, but they have done so much to improve it, and it's wild to think what it used to be to what it is now, and all of that was done through free updates. That team is amazing. Like, dude, I'm just shocked what they've done. All right, so we have this one right here from Dark Stalker, who says, I've been playing Ghostwire Tokyo, another game that I want to get my hands on and try, and it looks beautiful. You know, I've seen some recent stuff around that one. I'm like, what is this game? Whoa. Honestly, I wish they would do that kind of more open worldish. I think that'd be really cool. And we have this one from K Grant, who says this: Diablo 3. Actually, I've been diving into, yes, the previous Diablo games, kind of preparing for Diablo 4 over here. So yeah, Diablo 3 is definitely one I've been playing as the monk. Love the monk. Then we have this one from Neuro Manada, who says, finished Nobody Saves the World today, and after a shower, I'll start playing Darkwood. Also, I'm thinking about my 5th attempt at getting into Dark Souls, where you actually be able to defeat it and accomplish the impossible. Those games are so difficult, man. But yeah, that's kind of the charm to them. It's like once you finally get past a certain boss or whatever, you really do feel the accomplishment. We have this one right here. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Just, I cannot wait for Diablo 4. It's driving me nuts. Your videos keep my stoke alive. Love your videos. You're great. I need to watch that movie again, by the way. That movie was freaking hilarious. But thank you so much. Yes, you know, anything to keep you guys like busy. I know how it is. I just want to play Diablo 4. Like, seriously, I cannot wait for this game so much. But let's keep going. All right, next one we have, yes, Slarganor, I believe it is. I think you guys have ended up in my videos before, so here we go. It says, glad they are listening to feedback on the moving interaction keybinds. Personally would love a keybind to just disable the primary attack when held. I think that would feel better than separating two actions completely. Interesting feedback on that one. The more,
it's like everyone just wants the game to be perfect for their vision. Like, it's just like, oh, this is one thing to make my experience better. I mean, sure, man.
Options, in my opinion.
I'm sure eventually they'll have everything to make everyone happy.
That's just my personal opinion. With when it comes to controls and things like that. I know a lot of people want WASD support as well. Now we have S, who says, do people not go into every single room in a dungeon anyway? Why is this an issue? I know I'm not the only one who needs to check every inch of a dungeon in fear of missing something. For me, it's like OCD. It's a real problem with any game, even like open world games, whatever, The Witcher. I have to check like every single room, every nook and cranny. If I miss something, I'm like, did I miss something big? That's just how my mind thinks. So I'm still gonna be checking out all the.
I'm the same way, kinda, but I wonder where it comes from. Path of Exile, I would say.
Dungeons. every nook and cranny. So I get where you're coming from, but to hear that they're listening to things like they're adding more movement abilities in dungeons, for me personally, that's one of the biggest things. I'm like, wow, okay, all right. Because like, let's say you get to one part of the dungeon that isn't as meaningful, and they put a statue that you can activate, and it gives you movement speed bonus. That's going to help you so much backtrack to where you need to go. And I think that sort of quality of life improvement does matter. All right, so there it is. Thank you all so much for the comments and
I agree.
love and support on the videos. I got you guys covered on all things Diablo for you. Better believe it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.
Good video. I don't know about that whole I'm mad because the reset button is I think it's whatever, but people are gonna be sad about whatever they want to be upset about. But anyways, here we are. We made it. So yeah, another breadcrumb. We still got a while for the game, so I think these videos do kind of ease up on the not having it, but gives you something to like think about and stimulate your mind. But anyways, thanks for watching. That's the video, and you know the motto: tell someone you appreciate them because I appreciate you guys watching. Tell someone you love them because it's important to share that sentiment with people. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.